Oh my gosh. So this is it right here.
That's it.
And there we go. The gate is opening to Gilroy Hot Springs.
So a typical trip to Gilroy Hot Springs back then was you could catch the train out of San Francisco, and you got to remember back in 1860, 70, 80, 90, there was kind of affluent people that were visiting this place. It was $2.50 a day, $12 for the week, but that was a lot of money back then. So to get here was a whole day. People caught the train starting in San Francisco, and they might get on in San Jose or anywhere along the peninsula, stopped in Gilroy, got there about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they could take a stagecoach. Early days, they'd have to spend the night in Gilroy and then take the stagecoach up. Later on, they had a Stanley steamer and a Greyhound bus, but in the early days, it was a stagecoach that came up. And the road wasn't improved until coming up here. You were actually going through the creek bed and everything else just to get up here. So it was a really rough ride. It was a long day. They improved that road, I think, in the 1880s or 1890s to what you see today.
What a view.
Nice.
Gosh, yeah, beautiful.
Sit out here and have a glass of wine.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah. I do beer, but you know. Just joking.
This is my favorite place to have one.
Oh, I bet. This is splendid, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Staying in one of these would be cool.
Yeah, that's the
So this cabin has septic, it has water, it's all ready except for the bathroom fixtures.
generator.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah, there's pictures of it.
Yeah, pretty dark.
That cabinet there is a 2-bedroom with 1 bath, and inside is beautiful. It's got redwood.
Oh, that's the one. So the one in disrepair.
Yeah, it was actually falling down the hill in 2016. We got up in there and we actually had to pick it up 18 inches on the front end, and then set the foundations,
Oh, awesome.
set it back down on some good material. But that would have been probably rolling down the hill by now. That one is ready to be picked up. So this is the Minnesota cabin. This cabin is different from all the other structures on the property. So I think what happened a lot on these structures is farmers in the winter don't have a lot of work at the farm. So they would come up here and work, and they weren't necessarily skilled craftsmen. So some of the construction practices were kind of questionable. I mean, they're good, but whoever built this was a carpenter. Whoever built this was a craftsman. Take a look at these battens. The bevel here, the bevel's here, the solid coating, just the window framing. Whoever built this was a craftsman, carpenter. And we don't believe it was built here. People would move buildings. Nobody wasted a building.
Yeah.
So we believe it was moved here,
Moved.
but early, like 1880 or 1880. But this one here, we put a foundation under it. It's got a new roof on it just a couple years ago. And we started to put the partition back in. This was originally a 2-bedroom place. I mean, a 2-room place. We got the partition wall in, and then anyway, we spent everything back there. Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
So this rectangular concrete structure was swimming pool added in 1917, 18, and it was fed with the hot water. Bleachers right here where people could sit and watch their kids swimming. People that didn't want to swim. Cantilevered off that concrete wall were individual change rooms. It was a sidewalk, like a walkway, and then individual change rooms so people could go in and change their clothes and come out and jump in the water and go back in. So when you see the picture, it looks so much bigger because of that walkway and those rooms cantilevered out maybe 6 or 7, 8 feet. This was filled in by the stake with sand. And the other swimming pool was where you saw that trailer coming up. That was a cold water pool added in the 50s for people to drive up here during the summer and go swimming and stuff. So mothers during summer vacation would bring their kids up here, and I think it was 25 cents, 50 cents they would go swimming. There was a women's bathhouse and a men's bathhouse.
It's like Japan.
Yeah, but even before that, it was still, even in the 1800s, there was women's and men's bathhouses. It's always been that, even before Mr. Scott owned it. So if you take a look through here, you'll see there's two baths. There's one in that room and one in this room. And then there's tables and stuff for massages and around the edges. But if you look down through here, the baths were 5 feet deep, and they were about 8 foot in diameter. And then they had a bathroom and a shower so you can rinse off. This is probably where you soak.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where JJ remembers soaking with his dad.
Like the tile color. So what year would this have been built?
So, I'm glad you asked, because I was just going to
Oh.
explain.
I feel like everything I want to ask you already answer
Just
it.
keep asking, because
For
it
sure.
triggers stories.
Cool.
So, the brick building here you see, it's just the facade. Underneath that is a redwood building that was
With all
built in
cars and
1860.
people in front of it.
Okay,
Oh, so this is
I see.
So Mr. Sakata wanted
This is
to
when you came to
modernize it,
Yeah, clean it up. Yeah.
so he put this brick facade on. But if you take a look at the
Yeah.
thickness of these walls,
Yeah, I remember it came
the original redwood building is still underneath the brick.
So this
This
is
the
original.
building. and
I
then
see.
he added the brick.
This okay. Because I was looking at this and this looks a little more like not 1800s. I don't know. But
No, it's
yeah.
it's 1940s.
40s. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
Wow.
but underneath is a redwood building.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's the source, right?
That's the hot spring.
Yeah.
So inside that pit goes down about 8 feet, 7 feet. The water's bubbling up at about 109 degrees, 110 degrees.
That is the original spring. It's not piped into here.
It's artesianing right up out of the ground. That's I could put my thermometer in there, and that's where I can measure the temperature. It's just going up all the time.
Is it still working?
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Old Jergens. Ocean glass.
it's cool from there to there, but I don't know. It also changes.
Yeah.
The original pipe came out here and went right into this sycamore tree. And of course, the roots broke the pipe and the flow was way down. And so in 2017, we dug down and retrenched the pipe along here and then down to get the full flow back in. So what comes out of there now is coming out of the so it's just from Wendy's back house. And this was their. Yeah, they're 4 or 5 feet deep. They're
Yeah, I remember taking my son when he was little in the men's bathhouse.
so we just cleaned this front of this building was all graffitied up. We just cleaned it up about a year ago with a bunch of volunteers who came in here with a bunch of
Nice.
things, cleaned it up. But graffiti's been going on forever. It's not something
Oh
new.
wow.
So on the back of this building, there's some graffiti from 1893. If I had a flashlight, you can shine it on. But right here, somebody carved their something and the date. You can smell the spring now, right?
Love that smell.
1890 something. Graffiti from the 1800s.
They're taking samples of all the springs around here. Water species. Up and coming back up. Where the water really pumping up.
Well, I mean, it has a really negative oxidation reduction potential, which usually indicates way down and saturated with hydrogen by the actual hot water.
Yeah, that's a warm water.
Yeah, that's not hot.
That's 70 degrees, 72. But that's hot water. And this is warm water.
It's good. It's good. This is good for soaking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
If anyone's interested, I got a foot bucket they can soak their feet in.
Got here.
Oh my gosh. That feels so nice. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. So this is it right here.
That's it.
Wow.
So our next stop is just up the road here a little bit, and it's the Yamato cabin. The Yamato cabin was the Yamato family built it in 1940 and 41. And I've actually talked to two women that were here when they were kids. They were the daughters of the Yamamotos, and they have pictures of them sitting on the porch when they're 2 and 4 years old. And I met them about 8 years ago. Pretty cool to talk to them. And their memories of the place. And then last year in November, it was the year before in November, conducting one of these tours, asking people how they knew the place. And one gentleman said, my father built the Yamamoto family.
Wow.
So I had to drag him up there and sit him on the porch.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because we were working on the Yamamoto cabin at the time. We just put a new foundation under it and put a new roof on it. And on the 28th of this month, we're putting new windows and exterior siding on it. So we're working with a group called Historic Works. They do work for national parks mostly, but states parks have been contracting with them, and they use volunteers from the community. And they did one cabin last August up here, the Montana, and then the Yamamoto windows and siding and painting is going to happen for the 28th to early June. So if you want to log onto their website, you can go out and sign up for your volunteer. We're still looking for talking to my lead guy the other day, Aaron. So he's still looking. And what they do is they allow you to camp up here. You have to put in a full day's work, and they feed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, we go back up to the road and we'll take a little short hike up to the Yamamoto. And in the earliest pictures from 1890, there's this sycamore came up and it bent really low. You could barely get your truck under it, and then it forked out like this. And one of the forks on the branches fell and almost hit the building. And when it did, it took out this ancient black locust.
Oh, wow, like agave type thing.
I'm going to be up there again next week. Clean it up. I just sprayed it down with leaf.
This used to be a tea deck.
So you got to give me an idea of the structure.
Yeah.
We have the tunnel over here. We have the tunnels this way. So you have to be really careful of this. What's wrong here?
So in 2007, there was no graffiti and the windows were still here.
But yeah, you see one of the tunnels, and that's how we developed the protocol here.
Oh my gosh, look at that wood. It smells so good. This was built by a Japanese family in the 30s. Wow, oh my gosh, look at that view. Imagine sitting on this deck and just looking out.
Go to the hospital. We can actually build the canopy too. And I have pictures
Yeah,
So
it,
we can
it
do the
was
whole
really
thing.
nice. It was really nice.
So they added in new concrete foundation and then cut the hillside back to try to preserve the building. Really awesome. So this is where the original 3-story hotel would have been, but it burned down in the 80s. What about this, the concrete going on over there?
That was a cold store. That was a refrigerator.
Ah, okay.
Think about it being warm up here.
Yeah.
It gets wicked hot.
That looks old, that building. Up there.
So that was the original cold storage refrigerator for the hotel.
Like blocks of ice, right? Or
So that's how they
Mm.
kept it cool with ice in the summer, but during the winter, most of the year, they just let it be.
just in there, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in your ice box. The iceman would drive down the street with a horse and cart and sell you his junk ice.
What about that building up there? That looks...
Let me talk, yeah, that's a whole story in itself.
Okay, yeah.
Whole board over there. So that's Captain Kataji's cabin. Captain got his title through the Salvation Army.
Oh, I remember. Right, yeah.
So when he was 19 years old, he got in a really bad motorcycle accident, and it left him pretty much bedridden and wheelchair bound for about 6 months. But through the Salvation Army, he got help, he got rehabilitation he needed, and he also converted to Christianity. The Japanese were all Buddhists. So he converted to Christianity. So he had a cabin that looked just like the Montana there. That project we just finished in August of last year. The cabins, when we get up top, you can see the cabin. Then he added onto it.
It looks like it looks like that. Yeah.
It's like the original Winchester Mystery House.
Yeah. Oh my
The
gosh.
problem is he didn't know anything about construction, and he was using salvaged wood from cabins that were falling down. So it's in really, really bad shape. But the best story about Captain Kataji, besides his teaching, that was a church, and he actually did services out of it.
Wow.
Then he went over into the valley and he taught Christianity in the Japanese communities.
Oh wow.
But when he was in the internment camp, he took a King James Bible that was English on one side and a blank page on the other, and it took him 7 years with pin,
Pin?
a straight pin and inkwell, and he converted it to Japanese.
Oh my
All
gosh.
the little characters, it's like zero font. And he did annotations with pictures. Beautiful. You'll see some of them over there. So the family, Laura's family, found it at auction in New York about 4 or 5 years ago. And they notified the auctioneer and they pulled it off immediately. Because they don't
Wow.
want to get in trouble for selling it.
Yeah. Historic. Yeah.
In the Bible is Laura's name and all the family because everyone recorded the family history
He
in the
must
Bible.
have slipped when they found that.
They were able to procure that or get that Bible, and the state parks, Matt Bischoff, scanned every page, and it's now at the Bancroft. Which is the one at Stanford, the library? Is it Bancroft or is
Hoover?
it Hoover? It's at Hoover. So if you go to a Hoover Institute
Yeah.
website and in the search bar, Kataji Bibles,
Yeah.
every page, and you just click on it, bring up a page, bring up a page, bring up a page. But he translated the whole thing
Oh my gosh.
from English to Japanese so that he could preach Christianity in the Japanese communities. We had a Christian church here, and then
Oh yeah, the
yards
Shinto.
up, we have a
Yeah.
Shinto
That's
shrine.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Use a shovel. All the multicultural reading is great in this place.
Pipe.
Oh my god.
like the bridge, the footbridge. We passed that up again. The footbridge. There's a story that the Shinto shrine was part of it, and a lot of the landscaping that we saw, the century plants and some other lands, the bamboos. They had the World's Fair at Treasure Island in 1939-40.
Yeah.
Mr. Sakata was able to purchase some because they had a huge Japanese pavilion display. He was able to purchase a lot, so that's where that bridge came from.
Oh.
And one story says that's where the Shinto shrine came from. So he had it dismantled and he brought it here. And then the gentleman that designed the landscaping for that World's Fair exhibit came up here and did the Yamato property, designed that, and a couple other spots around here, supposedly.
Cool.
This was a 3-story building, and it was the owner's house, proprietor's house, and it burned in 1980 with the hotel.
Mm.
So this road goes out to a meadow where they had their vineyards, orchards. There's still an olive tree, an ancient olive tree out there, and there was a apple tree that just died just during the drought. And there was a big barbecue area, so they did a lot of stuff out there. A lot of it. Also, all the hills around here, there were trails. So people had to have something to do. So there were trails. There was a Lover's Point, there was some other one, and then up there on top of the peak of one of the ridges was a flagpole. So they'd have races to the flagpole.
Oh my gosh.
There. And then they had a logbook. And you could write, you know, how your day was. And some of it wasn't real flattering. It was like, that damn hill, you know. I thought I was going to die. So, this is where Captain Kataji parked his car.
Oh.
No way. Oh my gosh.
No Model A.
Oh, this one's waiting for the winner.
Yeah, so there's the original cabin on the far edge, left-hand side of the structure.
So this was an individual's cabin by the name of Captain Kataji, and the building on the left here was the original structure, but then he just kept adding on, and he lived in this building for 30 years or so. Oh my gosh, you can see the tree growing through the middle. There's the tree right there. Wow. Old bottles. Look at that. Oh my gosh. He built this all himself, and he was not an engineer, as you can see. But I mean, it's still standing. It was built in the 30s, I believe. Underneath. You may have mentioned, but has any restorative work been done to it? Or?
Yeah, you were down there.
Yeah.
So the reason why we haven't tackled this is two things. One, it isn't fallen down yet, so we kind of jump on things that are
warp.
high
Yeah,
priority.
yeah.
So there was some work done on this either in the 70s or 80s. There's no documentation. But when they did, they didn't do it historically accurate.
I see.
So we have no way of knowing because there's no drawings, there's not a lot of pictures of it. So we don't know how it was original.
I see.
It's all pressure treated lumber, Simpson brackets, modern Simpson brackets. So whoever did it built it in a modern style
Yeah.
based on what he knew. He was probably a carpenter or
Yeah.
something.
Just trying to fix it up at the time, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's standing and it's solid, but
That's why I thought something had been done to it like recently,
yeah,
because
you
it
can
looks
see
like
the
it's pretty.
concrete. You can see the
Yeah.
concrete columns underneath and the Simpson brackets, and the posts are kind of green color because they're the old green pressure treated.
Wow.
But I mean, you guys just came up this way from LA? Oh my God.
There's another guy that's in contact. Oh, I know, right? It was at an angle like this. I've been too lazy to try this.
So these are just little cottages that you could have booked if you were to visit this place back in the day. Each one would have, a bed, little living area, and then also, I believe, toilet. Wow, look at this tree. It's just growing. It was growing right into the cabin. A lot of lizard action going on. Wow. A lot of these had to be boarded up to prevent vandalism or further vandalism. But as for original structures, this is one of the oldest buildings here, this cabin, which is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath cabin. And then the 2 bathhouses that are down there, the ladies and the men's. Let's see if we can take a better look, but there was a lot of work that was done to this recently. You can see all of the new boards supporting the foundation that were placed here because this was like 8 to 10 inches lower and about to tumble down the hill. So, oh, look at these steps. Yeah. Wow. And the view looking out that way. And look at this. Old stairs. Actually, I don't know how old these are. I mean, I don't know. Pretty neat though. And then this is kind of the overlook right here of all the hot springs action. But look at this underneath. 1800s. So I think this is kind of the best view right here. But there was down there was a swimming pool essentially that was filled in the 60s or 70s or at some point like that. And then the actual hot springs were to the left, and all of the original tubs are gone. And then there's like a semi-new smaller tub that was built in the 70s that's just, you know, using cinder blocks, modern cinder blocks. But there would also have been water running into these bathhouses as well too, that you could soak in those. So there was indoor, outdoor, and that swimming pool at some point. I think there's quite a few pictures online from the 50s of that. All right, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys liked the video. I didn't talk too much because I kind of just wanted to listen to what the state park volunteer had to say and just kind of document what this place currently looks like and the restoration that's going on. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and try to look out for an upcoming tour or an event being hosted here. This place is really awesome, so highly recommend checking it out legally. Of course, that's the way to do it. I wanted to check it out, but waited for a tour to become available, and I hope you guys do that as well too. Really cool place. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.